What's up, y'all, and welcome back to The Dose, where we are here to help leaders pivot into their next. My name is Alex Seal, and I've enjoyed 20 years with the world's most caring company, and I want to take leadership concepts and bring them to you in a digestible manner that will help you get into the next season of your leadership. Let's grow. What's up and what's happening, TPE fam? Welcome back to another episode of The Dose. The Dose is designed to give leadership tips each and every week to help you get better in your leadership. My name is Alex Seal, and I'm excited to share this time with you. I've spent 20 years with the world's most caring company, and in that time frame, I've learned a ton about leadership. And so it's my goal and objective to be able to share the things that I've learned with you all through this medium. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about building and leading teams. If you're in a restaurant environment, and this is not exclusive to the restaurant environment, if you're working with a group of people in general, it is important for you as a leader to understand why it is important for you to build your team and to lead them. The expectations, the results, the things that we want to accomplish in our organizations are predicated on how well we build the teams around us, how well we develop people, how well we develop leaders, how well we create clarity in the roles and define what it is that they're supposed to do. And so this topic is something that's very important for every leader to understand and every leader to grab a hold of. And so before I jump into the topic, I want to remind you to sign up for our monthly Lead Better. We have Chick-fil-A operator Eric Cinco joining us for this Lead Better, so you don't want to miss it. Go to www.tpenow.com and you can get your ticket for that event. We're going to be talking to Eric about his journey from being a leader in the restaurant in a Chick-fil-A, being accepted and going through LDP, and then now his current role as an operator with Chick-fil-A. And so we're excited to be able to spend some time with him. I mean, we want to invite as many people out into this free virtual event as possible. So you just go over to www.tpenow.com and you can get signed up for that event. Now, there's going to be three things I want to canvas as it relates to building and leading teams. And so I'm going to refer to my notes here as we're talking, and I would encourage you to take some notes as well so you can get a better understanding on how to build your team and lead them to where you want them to go. The point number one is going to be understanding team dynamics and roles. Understanding team dynamics and roles. And so there's three sub points here that I wanted to highlight. Is number one, role clarity. Emphasize the importance of clearly defining each team member's roles and responsibilities to ensure everyone knows their task and how to contribute to the team goals. This is something that is very important because people function well when they understand their role on your team. And so do you have it clearly defined? What are the what's the hierarchy, what's the lay of the land when it comes down to team member, trainers, shift leaders, managers, directors, operating partners, whatever your SKUs of leadership designations are, making sure that people understand, one, what those roles are, two, what authorities those roles have, and then three, if they wanted to pursue advancement and development for themselves, they know what the latter is. And so that's sub point one. Sub point two, strengths and weaknesses. Discuss assessing the strengths and weaknesses of each team member to leverage their skills effectively and address any gaps. You have to be aware of what areas that your teams are stronger in and what areas are they weaker in. That's from a collective standpoint and the individual standpoint. For example, like for me today, I'm going to be the leader on duty, the LOD for our shift today at work, and it's my job to look at the layout or the position chart to understand where are our liabilities, where are our strengths, who can I lean on for what. And so understanding what your team members individually and collectively are strong at and weak at will give you an idea of, number one, how to navigate the shift and navigate the day, but also it gives you an opportunity to address any gaps that may exist within your organization from a training standpoint, operational standpoint. And then the last part is stages of team development, introducing the stage of team development, and explain how understanding these stages can be effective in facilitating progress. And so there's forming, storming, norming, and performing. And so when you look at those different stages, do you understand what areas are your team members in their development, and how can you help them get from one stage to another? A lot of times when you hire new employees, they're new, so they enter that first stage, and then you start training them, and they get that preliminary training done, and then they can move on to the next stage, and then you continuously develop them to continue to rise in your organization. Point number 2 of the 3 main points is going to be fostering collaboration and inclusivity. Fostering collaboration and inclusivity. And so number 1, you foster collaboration and inclusivity by open communication. Encourage creating an environment where open communication is promoted and team members feel comfortable sharing their ideas and feedback. If you have a culture that makes people feel uncomfortable, or they are intimidated, or they're scared to speak up about the things that they notice and recognize, then you will not be able to reach the goals that you really want to reach in your organization. It will be tough for you to be able to create and go to truly where your organization can go in terms of unlocking their potential, or unlocking what they can do, if you do not leverage open communication. So as you as a leader, you need to do all that you can to promote open communication. Number 2, diverse perspectives. And again, this kind of piggybacks off of the last point, the open communication point, but highlight the value of diverse perspectives and experiences, and discuss strategies for ensuring all voices are heard and considered in decision-making processes. And so and here's the deal, like any organization, the organization I serve is 220 plus, and it would be unwise for me to think that there isn't somebody in our organization that can add value beyond what my voice is, or what our core leadership voice is. And so that's why for us, just in my organization, we make it a point to facilitate one-on-one conversations where the goal is to try to extract feedback about their experience as a team member, and how can we make it better for them. And so when you're looking at what's going on in your organization, there's going to be nobody better to tell you what you're doing right or wrong than the people who you are serving, than the people who experience the workload without any authority, without any responsibility, because they are going to be experiencing the end result of a lot of decisions that you make in your store. And so it's important for you to harvest feedback from them. You have to humble yourself. You have to kind of get out of your own way to be able to receive feedback in a real way that's going to be impactful to the trajectory of where you're trying to go in your organization. Next in this fostering collaboration and inclusivity is going to be talking about team building activities. Recommend regular team building activities to strengthen relationships, build trust, and enhance collaboration amongst team members. One of the things that that really stuck with me when I read this book, Principles, from Ray Dalio, and he talked about the sabbatical, and and not necessarily saying taking a month off or 2 months off with the people that you work with, but what are those moments that you have with your team that you can leverage, creating a bond that goes beyond kind of the work, that transcends the work. I think the greatest relationships, workplace relationships, are built when there's camaraderie beyond the task at hand, when we clock in, when we can talk about things that go on beyond the 4 walls of the restaurant or the 4 walls of the organization. When you can build a relationship beyond that really translates into a beautiful relationship, and really gives your organization the opportunity to flourish, because you have people who are dialed in and want to be a part of what's going on, and they want to add value to what you're doing. So you as a leader have to take it upon yourself to say, what can we do to facilitate additional opportunities for the team to get closer that go beyond just the work. So moving on to point number 3, and point number 3 is motivating and inspiring team members. Okay, so this is our third point. First point is just a review, understanding team dynamics and roles. Second point is fostering collaboration and inclusivity. Then our third point is motivating and inspiring team members. And so you have to, number 1, figure out what is your method of recognition and rewards. I think a lot of us are competitive by nature, particularly when you work with younger generation organizations of people, they enjoy a gamified experience when it comes down to recognition or rewards. And so how are you doing that creatively in your organization? Do you have a monthly program where you recognize particular people for certain efforts that you may need some work in your organization? Do you have for us, and we use this app called Bonusly. There's other apps out there other than Bonusly, but we like Bonusly. It gives us the opportunity to identify particular subjects in the business that we want to highlight when team members activate them, and then we can also have we can give them points, and they can accumulate those points and then use them towards incentives, open breaks, or gift cards, or just Chick-fil-A swag, whatever it is. Whatever, you have to create a consistent and known way to recognize your team members for the. Of course, you can take the stance of, hey, you got a job, you're getting paid. The recognition and reward is the check that you receive every week or every 2 weeks. But if you're really going to build a team and you're really going to lead them, the additional recognition and reward items will play a huge role in this. And so I would definitely suggest that you think about how do you want to go about doing that. We use Bonusly. I know there's another software company called Recognize. There's a lot of different things that you can do to systemize your recognition and your rewards, but you have to have that present if you're going to effectively build a team and lead them. The next point is going to be empowerment. Explain how empowering team members by giving them the autonomy and opportunities for growth can inspire them to take ownership in their work and contribute more effectively. I am a product of autonomy. I am a product of a Chick-fil-A operator looking at the gifts and talents that I was given and trusting me with the wheels of the ship and being able to steer us in the direction that we believe we can go. And so I definitely think that it's important for team members or more so leaders to understand the value in when you empower a team member and you give them a level of authority and a level of autonomy, what could happen in your organization in terms of them taking initiative and them taking ownership over areas of your business and taking it further. There's a lot of things happening, particularly in the Chick-fil-A. There's a lot of things happening all the time, and one leader, two leaders can't effectively check all the boxes and drive the results that you have in those areas. And so you need more people bought into the objectives, bought into the expectations, and bought into driving the result in order for you to be able to be successful in that area. So I think empowering other people to take ownership is going to be a key in building and leading teams. Last sub point here is vision and purpose. Emphasize the need to communicate a clear vision and purpose, showing how each team member's work aligns with the broader goals of the organization, which can inspire and motivate them at their best. Studies show that team members now would rather work for an organization that has a purpose and a value that aligns with them directly and personally, and they'll be more bought into what you're doing. I use Chick-fil-A as an example because that's the example that I'm most familiar with. But Chick-fil-A's from a corporate standpoint and from an individual store standpoint usually have really strong vision and purpose, and so you can't help but to be motivated when the purpose is something that you want to get behind and you think that that a team member thinks is worth value. And so I think it's important to highlight what the vision is often so people can be reminded of, hey, this is what we're here to do. This is why we are here. It's not all about driving a profit. It's not all about trying to do as many sales as we can, but it's about driving the purpose and the vision. And if we prioritize that, all those other things will follow. If you have a team that is aligned with your vision and purpose and they understand their role in that, profits and sales will follow right behind it, because they're bought into what the mission is. They're bought into where you're trying to go. So once they buy into that, you can definitely help teach them the other pieces of the puzzle. And so those are the things that I think that are important when it comes down to building and leading teams. And I think if you take some note of these things and start to incorporate them into your organization, you probably already have them in your organization in some form or fashion, but it might be worth your time to revisit and to look at these things in order for you to be able to drive drive your organization to a place to where it's really true and truly achieving the results that you want to achieve. So thank you guys so much for tuning into today's dose. Hopefully something was said that will help you on your leadership journey to becoming a better leader. I look forward to your growth and development. And until next time, guys, peace.
What's up, guys? Here at the TPE, we're much more than your ordinary coaching brand. We're a team of coaches that have boots on the ground, who have real world experience in the area of running big business. And so let's get connected. Head over to tpenow.com and see how we can help you and your leaders pivot into the next.